Good day, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I'm your host, the Voice of Reason. So, in today's Horn of Africa update, there has been some very strong rhetoric coming out of Cairo about the breakdown in negotiations over the Grand Renaissance Dam. Specifically, the president of Egypt, Al-Sisi, has stated the following: I say to our brothers in Ethiopia, don't touch a drop of Egypt's water because all options are open. And that is coming direct from Al-Sisi, the president of Egypt. So again, apparently the negotiations that took place in Kinshasa were very unproductive, and it would appear that all options are now being actively considered if the second filling were to be attempted by the Addis Ababa-based government in Ethiopia. Next, what is going on inside of Tigray? Well, I had made a previous video in which I had suggested that we would not see true success in terms of Tigrayan defense forces removing Eritrean and Ethiopian army from Tigray until Tigrayan defense forces started to enter some of the major cities. And we're hearing reports now that in this town of Agula, that Tigrayan defense forces indeed have entered this town. It doesn't sound like there was any significant fighting. Either the two parties did not engage each other, or there were at the time no Ethiopian or Eritrean forces inside of the town. Now, whether the TDF is still there, that will remain to be seen. But it looks like the Tigrayan defense forces are now starting to probe some of these minor and larger towns along the A2 and B30 highway. And that's going to be very important in the coming months because eventually the Tigrayan Defense Forces is going to have to engage the Ethiopian and Eritrean army inside of some of these larger towns if they anticipate on eventually winning this conflict or bringing Ethiopia to the table, which may also result in a de facto victory and or independence. We're also hearing from peoples that have escaped Tigray, and they are talking about some really just incredible atrocities against the Tigrayan people that are ongoing and have happened. And they have shown individuals that have been mutilated, they have been shot, they have been stabbed and butchered, and they have talked to many women who have been um, uh, raped repeatedly by many members of the Eritrean armed forces and the Ethiopian armed forces, especially out west. In these areas, the Amhara militias have been doing some fairly incredible atrocities to the peoples who live in these areas. And it is now starting to be reported as United Nations agencies are able to conduct interviews and conduct medical examinations of these people who have fled these areas. And we are starting to see some really truly horrific signs of abuses that have occurred. And also, mass graves are now starting to be identified by those people fleeing, and up-to-date satellite images can be viewed of some of these sites as well. And I'm sure more sites will be viewed in the coming days. But again, just from an operational tempo, it would appear that at least in one town, the TDF has entered a town and briefly occupied it, and may have withdrawn. But we're going to see more of that, I would presume, in the coming days. Also in Oromia, it sounds like a fairly significant police unit of the Oromia Regional Police were ordered to engage the Oromo Liberation Army. And these orders obviously were coming direct from Addis Ababa. But apparently, this up to a 600 member police unit of the Oromia Regional Police refused to engage and do battle with the Oromo Liberation Army. Now, granted, I mean, if it was a true police unit, a true regional police unit, the function of a regional police unit should not be to engage combat, but to uphold law and order and conduct law enforcement operations, true law enforcement operations, not large-scale engagements because the Ethiopian army is off fighting elsewhere, be it Sudan or Tigray. And because of that, that is one of the reasons we are starting to see the Eritrean Defense Force, I'm sorry, the Eritrean army be moved into Ethiopia proper, the Oromia regions, to conduct operations against the OLF and the OLA. But again, I will, as I get information, I will report it, and I will keep everyone apprised as I receive information. Thanks, everybody.